Chernobyl. The name itself evokes a sense of dread, a chilling reminder of the potential dangers that come with harnessing nuclear energy. It stands as a stark reminder of the catastrophic power of nuclear energy unleashed, a power that, when mishandled, can lead to unimaginable devastation. On April 26, 1986, reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, near the city of Prypyat in Soviet Ukraine, became the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster. This event would forever change the course of nuclear safety and energy policies worldwide. A sudden surge in power during a safety test led to a catastrophic explosion and fire. The explosion was so powerful that it blew the roof off the reactor building, releasing a deadly cloud of radioactive material into the atmosphere. The reactor core, containing highly radioactive material, was exposed. This exposure meant that dangerous levels of radiation were now free to escape into the environment. A plume of radioactive isotopes was released into the atmosphere, spreading across parts of the Soviet Union and Europe. The radioactive cloud travelled far and wide, carried by the wind, contaminating everything in its path. The immediate aftermath was devastating. The explosion and subsequent fire caused widespread destruction, and the release of radiation had severe and far-reaching consequences. 31 people, mostly plant workers and first responders, died from acute radiation sickness or injuries sustained during the explosion. These brave individuals were the first to face the deadly consequences of the disaster. Thousands more would later face long-term health consequences due to radiation exposure. The effects of the radiation would linger for years, causing cancers, birth defects, and other serious health issues. The disaster forced the evacuation of Prypyat, a bustling city of nearly 50,000 people, who were told they would return in a few days. They never did. The evacuation was chaotic and hurried, with residents leaving behind their homes, belongings, and memories. Today, Prypyat stands frozen in time, a haunting testament to the human cost of the disaster. The abandoned buildings, empty streets, and decaying infrastructure serve as a stark reminder of the lives disrupted and the enduring impact of the Chernobyl disaster. In the years since the disaster, nature has slowly begun to reclaim the abandoned city and the surrounding exclusion zone, a 30-kilometer radius around the power plant. What was once a bustling urban area is now a silent testament to the power of nature's resilience and adaptability. Lush vegetation now grows through cracks in the pavement, and wildlife, including wolves, deer, and even endangered Przewalski's horses, roam freely. These animals have adapted to the environment, finding new ways to survive and thrive in a place where humans no longer tread. The absence of human activity has, in a strange twist, created a unique ecosystem where nature thrives amidst the remnants of human civilization. Trees and plants have taken over buildings, turning them into green, living structures. Birds nest in the ruins, and insects buzz through the air, creating a vibrant, albeit eerie, atmosphere. This unexpected consequence of the disaster has attracted scientists and researchers from around the world, studying the long-term effects of radiation on the environment and the resilience of life. They are particularly interested in how certain species have adapted to the high levels of radiation, providing valuable insights into the potential for life to endure in extreme conditions. But beneath the surface, the invisible threat of radiation lingers. The contamination is not just a relic of the past. It continues to affect the ecosystem in subtle and sometimes unpredictable ways. The soil, water, and air in the exclusion zone remain contaminated, requiring strict safety protocols for anyone venturing into this post-apocalyptic landscape. Protective gear and constant monitoring are essential to ensure the safety of those who study or visit this hauntingly beautiful, yet perilous, environment. Today, Chernobyl has become an unlikely tourist destination, drawing visitors from all corners of the globe. What was once a site of unimaginable tragedy has transformed into a place of somber reflection and eerie fascination. Driven by a mix of curiosity, a thirst for adventure, and a desire to pay their respects, these dark tourists embark on a pilgrimage to the past. They come to witness firsthand the aftermath of one of the worst nuclear disasters in history, seeking to understand the magnitude of the event and its lasting impact on humanity. They walk through the deserted streets of Prypyat, peering into abandoned schools, hospitals, and apartments, frozen in time since 1986. Each step they take is a journey back to a moment when life abruptly stopped, leaving behind a haunting silence that echoes through the empty corridors. The crumbling buildings, overgrown with vegetation, serve as stark reminders of the lives abruptly interrupted on that fateful day. Nature has begun to reclaim the area, with trees and plants growing through the cracks in the concrete, creating a surreal juxtaposition of decay and rebirth. Tourists also visit the Chernobyl power plant itself, now encased in a massive concrete sarcophagus to contain the radioactive remains of reactor number 4. Standing before the plant, they reflect on the human error and bravery that defined the disaster and its aftermath. A new, larger confinement structure, known as the new safe confinement, has been slid over the sarcophagus to further secure the site. This engineering marvel symbolizes both the ongoing efforts to contain the disaster and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of such overwhelming adversity. Entering the exclusion zone is a tightly controlled affair. Visitors must obtain special permits and are accompanied by licensed guides who enforce strict safety regulations. Radiation levels are constantly monitored, and visitors are required to wear dosimeters to track their exposure. Designated routes and areas have been established to minimize risks, and venturing off limits is strictly prohibited. Despite these precautions, visiting Chernobyl remains a sobering experience, a stark reminder of the potential consequences of human error and the enduring legacy of nuclear disasters. The tours are designed to be both informative and impactful, providing visitors with a deeper understanding of the disaster's causes, consequences, and ongoing implications. Walking through the deserted streets of Prypyat is like stepping into a time capsule. The Ferris wheel, a symbol of the city's lost future, stands silent and rusty against the sky. Bumper cars sit idle in the amusement park, their paint peeling after years of neglect. Inside the school, textbooks lie open on desks, as if waiting for students who will never return. In the hospital, cribs stand empty, a haunting reminder of the families torn apart by the disaster. Each decaying building, each abandoned object, whispers a silent story of the lives lived and lost. These ghostly remnants of a bygone era serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost of the Chernobyl disaster.